Hello motorbike fans, this is Martin and I got some motorbike stuff for you. And today's stuff is about one specific motorbike, because we've got a new bike to reveal, or actually a not so new bike to reveal. So you're probably wondering, like, what's going on here? Well, a long time ago I presented you a video in which we bid farewell to our increasingly less trusty Yamaha XJ600 Diversion. And then I left you with a bit of a cliffhanger on the question whether we're going to replace it with a new bike or not. Well, obviously we did replace it with a new bike, and we've owned that for quite a while now, many years, and I recently realized I never properly introduced it to you. So I thought it was about time we set that straight. So therefore, in this video I'm going to reveal our new motorbike. But in order to build up some tension, which is YouTube lingo for boring you with all kind of irrelevant details, I would like to have a few words on how we arrived at the choice for this particular bike. So basically, the challenge is we own 94 R1100 RS BMW, that is, and 2018 R1200 GS. So what would be an interesting new bike to really add something into the mix? Let's go through some options. First option, sports bike. Yeah, cool, but not really my cup of tea, to be honest. You know, riding motorbikes for me is about cornering, much less the speed. And I know motorbikes can do their cornering pretty okay, but still they need speed to do it, and the posture on a motorbike is not ideal for me. Easily gives me a sore back and such. So sports bikes probably attractive to many people, but it's not for me. By the way, the missus has exactly the same opinion on that, so I'm afraid sports bikes are out. Next, sports tourer. Oh yeah, now you got my attention. Followers of my Facebook story will know that I started out my motorbike career on a Suzuki GSX 600F, followed by that R1100 RS, and then we've also briefly owned that, or actually for 5 years we've owned that Yamaha XJ600. That's pretty much into the sports tourer category, isn't it? Especially the RSs. So yeah, that's definitely something I would fancy. But there is a bit of a problem. In fact, I think we should talk about the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is probably me. You know, age is a bit of a thing. I'm 38 and I've been 38 for well over 10 years already at this stage. So I'm not made out of rubber anymore. And then a sports tourer is not ideal. The RS, for example, that we still own, I do occasionally ride it for a couple of hours sometimes, but the first thing it does is have my wrists for breakfast, and then if I ride it for a few more hours, it's going to have a go at my back for lunch. It's just the way it is. Same as with sports bike, to a lesser extent, but still. The way you sit on them, the way you handle them, the posture, it gives a lot of pressure on the wrists and then also puts a strain on the back. So as much as I like those, I'm afraid it's not going to happen. So bye bye sports tourer. By the way, apologies for the background noise every now and then. It looks like I'm in the middle of nowhere here, but in fact right there's a road with the occasional car going by, so looks can be deceiving. Now maybe we should consider a full touring bike. Yeah, definitely be interested in that. I'm a bit in a struggle on which one to choose then, because most of today's tourer bikes are really big, and I don't think that's what we're looking for, because in terms of size, a GS is about the biggest size of bike that I would like to have. In the older days you could get something like a Honda NT, something Deauville for instance. You could have quite a few options in the 700 to 1000 cc's of touring bikes of various brands. But these days it's getting a bit difficult. So even though I would be interested in that genre, I'm in a struggle to find a model that would really fit the needs. But maybe, probably get back to that later. Next candidate, a naked bike. Ho, 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 ho. Ooh, yes, now you've got my attention. I would really like to have a naked bike, especially as an alternative to that GS where everything is just very well sorted out. Something that really puts the wind in your hair and the noise and everything, and then just go out for a Sunday afternoon spin. Yeah, I think that would really be a good idea. And there's only one problem, but it's quite a big problem, I'm afraid. I don't think I'm going to get that past the missus, because she says thumbs down to anything without a proper windscreen. Why was a naked bike called naked again? Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? And then I could give her all kind of trouble about that, but she's probably right, because she uses a bike in many practical ways, such as going for errands or going on a tour with me, and especially that going on a tour with me means that it's a long ride and there will be a lot of wind influence. So I'm afraid, as much as I like them, the naked bike is out of the question. Sorry. So what else is there? Cruisers. Well, you know, that's the modern term for what used to be choppers and was then renamed into customs by smart marketing departments who wanted to chip in on the fashion. Yeah, I like those kinds of bikes, really, yeah. But, like I said before, motorbike riding for me is about cornering, and those cruisers aren't particularly good at it. And there's yet another thing. They're full of chrome and all kind of bling bling, and that means you need to do a lot of polishing. And I love looking at it, that's absolutely great. But I'd really want my motorbike time to be at least 90% riding the bike and 10%, or preferably a lot less, washing and polishing them. So in that sense, a cruiser is not ideal for me. So you know what? I think this is the best way to put it. I love cruisers, but cruisers are best when owned and ridden by someone else. Yeah, so let's keep it that way. Keep your cruiser. I'll be happy to look at it. I'm not going to buy one. Well, motorbike fans, we're running out of motorbike genres, so what's it going to be then? Well, I guess I could drone on for this for hours, but let's just go out and have a look at it, right? So, hereby I proudly present our new motorbike. The Kawasaki versus X300. Yay! Now, let's have a proper look. Got spoke wheels. Quite interesting on a bike like this. Then here is the roaring beast. A 300cc parallel twin, putting out a blistering 40 bhp and even another staggering, what is it, 26 newton meters I think of torque. And all of that may not sound like much, but this entire thing only weighs 175 kilos, and that makes all the difference. And then here we have the front. Looks pretty cool, I think. Nice little windshield. And this is an urban spec, which means that it comes with a number of details, such as these hand guards, crash bars, always a good idea, a center stand that you can't currently see, but trust me, it's there, and also a nice top case that comes in a matching paint color. Speaking of which, this model is available in two paint colors. One is the famous Poison Frog Kawasaki green, and this one is somewhat more dull looking red. But then the interesting thing is it makes the bike a little bit more inconspicuous, because the Kawasaki green is really shouty, and this grey may look a bit dull at first, but the longer you look at it, the more interesting it gets. So it's here on the tank, of course, on the top case as you just saw, and also on the front. Chain driven, of course. What else would you expect on a small bike like this? And then an exhaust just on one end, but still pretty nice job, I'd say. And then we probably also want to have a look at the dash. I'm gonna switch that on for you. So lots of stuff in there. There's a clock, gear indicator, also fuel gauge, very handy. I love fuel gauge on a motorbike. There's oil temperature indicator, speed of course, 2 trip meters, and there's even a range indicator. And then the big round thing in the middle, oh well, that's your tacho. Always nice on a bike like this. So that's quite a lot of stuff on a dashboard for such a straightforward, somewhat lower end bike. Really like that. You probably want to hear it too. Now wait for it. There you go. Rev it a bit. That's the Kawasaki 300cc twin engine for you. I think it was borrowed from the 300 Ninja. Not sure if they've done any tweaking to it, but I'm sure if you really want to know, you can find out. So all in all, pretty neat looking thing, I'd say. We're quite happy with it. So Martin, I hear you say, that's all good and well, but what you bought there, the 300X Versys, is that not actually an adventure bike? And did you not already own a GS, which is a byword for adventure bike? So how does this one add to the mix? Yeah, okay, I have some explaining to do here. I realize that. The thing is that this bike it's very light, 175 kilo, and then the engine is really small, of course, only 300 cc's. So it's an entirely different world from a 1200cc big boxer where everything is automatic and smooth and whatnot. This one actually makes you work, but then also because it's so light and nimble, it gives a lot of pleasure in return. So in that sense, it's a completely different story. So if you already own a big adventure bike, the best type of bike to add to your mix is another adventure bike, but just one that is as small and light as possible. So I guess the next thing to do is take it for a ride. There'll be another video. I hope it's not going to take me too long to do that. So yeah, really hope to get that ready soon. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and may the road rise to meet you.